The ache in your legs is not just a weakness of the body, but a question from the spirit. It asks, have you forgotten your foundation? This pain is a teacher if we listen. To heal the root, we must look deeper than the branch. The final understanding we will reach today is the most vital, for it is the key not just to strength, but to the structure of your entire being. Do not turn away from this lesson. Inner calm. We begin our journey not with the body, but with a question to the mind. Where does this tension originate? You feel it in the calf, a sudden seizing in the night, a fire that awakens you from your sleep. You feel it as a weakness when you climb the stairs, a hesitation in the limb that was once so certain. But this physical expression, this cramp, this weakness, it is merely the end of a long story. The story begins, as so many do, within the quiet chambers of your mind, in the unnoticed patterns of your day. We live in a world that praises haste, that rewards constant motion, constant thought. There is no space for stillness. Our minds are always grasping, planning, worrying. This creates a state of unseen, unfelt tension, a low hum of alertness that never truly ceases. And the body, which is the ultimate servant of the mind, must hold this tension. It clenches, it prepares, it waits for a command that never fully arrives and a release that is never fully given. A muscle, in its natural state, is designed to contract and then to fully release. In this rhythm is its health, its power. But what happens when the release command is forgotten? The muscle remains in a state of partial contraction, tired, starved of full, flowing energy. It becomes brittle, and when you ask something more of it, a simple step or a gentle stretch, it protests. The cramp is this protest. It is a shout from a part of you that is exhausted of holding on. So when we speak of the first pillar to restore your strength, we are not speaking of a magic pill. We are speaking of inviting a principle into your being. The principle is one of release, of letting go. There is an element, a mineral, that is the physical embodiment of this principle. In the world of science, it is given a name, but for our understanding, let us call it the agent of inner calm. This element is fundamental to over 300 processes inside your temple, your body. And its primary duty, its greatest gift, is to facilitate relaxation. It is the key that fits into the lock of a tense muscle fiber and allows it to open, to lengthen, to breathe. When this agent is scarce, the lock remains shut. The tension persists, not just in your leg muscles, but in the walls of your blood vessels, in your nervous system, even in the rhythm of your heart. You feel it as anxiety, as irritability, as an inability to find deep rest. The leg cramp is simply the loudest and most physical manifestation of a system-wide deficit of calm. Replenish. This is not a chore, but an act of deep kindness to yourself. It is a recognition that you cannot be strong without also being soft. You cannot be powerful without also knowing profound stillness. Think of the great bamboo. It can bend to the ground in a storm and not break because it is flexible. Its strength is in its capacity to yield. Your muscles are the same. Their power does not come from perpetual hardness, but from their ability to transition fluidly from relaxation to contraction and back again. This transition is governed by the presence of inner calm. Where do we find this principle? We can find it in a supplement, and that can be a useful bridge, but its true home is in the earth. It is abundant in the dark green leaves of plants that have done the work of pulling it from the soil. Spinach, chard, the humble kale. It is in the seeds and the nuts that are the very essence of potential energy waiting to be released. Almonds, pumpkin seeds. It is in the legumes, the beans and lentils that have sustained cultures for thousands of years. To eat these foods is not just to consume a nutrient. It is to ingest the very principle of grounded calm energy. It is to tell your body on a cellular level, it is safe to let go. It is time to release. This is a much deeper communication than simply willing your muscle to relax. You are providing it with the very tool it requires to obey your will. So when you feel that whisper of a cramp, that flicker of weakness, do not see it as an enemy. See it as a messenger. It is telling you that the story of tension has gone on for too long. It is asking you to reintroduce the counter principle, to find this element of inner calm, to consume it with intention, and to pair that physical act with a mental one. Take a moment. breathe, and with your out-breath, give your body permission to release the tension it has been holding for you so diligently, so quietly for so long. This is the first and most fundamental step to rebuilding your foundation. You are not just stopping a cramp, you are relearning the lost art of letting go. This understanding transforms the way you approach your physical well-being. It is no longer a battle against symptoms, a war against your own body. It becomes a dialogue. The weakness in your legs is not a sign of inevitable decay, it is a sign of imbalance. An imbalance between doing and being, between holding on and letting go. By consciously reintroducing this element of inner calm, you are restoring this essential balance. The journey to leg strength, you see, begins with a quiet mind and a relaxed muscle fiber. It starts with honoring the need for release as much as we honor the drive for action. Every time you consciously choose a food rich in this principle, you are casting a vote for a different way of being. A way that is less brittle, less reactive, and more resiliently calm. It is a profound practice that travels far beyond the muscles of your legs. It brings a quietness to the nervous system, a steadiness to the heart, and a clarity to the mind. The strength you seek in your limbs is a direct reflection of the peace you cultivate within. This is why it is the first pillar. Without it, the other pillars have no solid ground upon which to stand. They will be temporary fixes upon a foundation of tension. But with it, you are not just building muscle, you are cultivating a state of being from which all true and lasting strength arises. It is the secret held within the stillness that precedes all powerful movement. Sunlight's embrace. Now let us turn to the structure itself, the frame of your temple. We can calm the muscles and still the mind, but if the scaffolding that holds you upright is porous and weak, stability will forever remain elusive. Think of a great old tree. Its strength is not just in its flexible branches, but in the solid, unyielding nature of its trunk and roots. This is your skeletal system. For many, as the years pass, a silent fear grows. The fear of a fall, the fear of a fracture. This is not just a fear of pain, it is a fear of losing independence, of the world shrinking, of the foundation of your very existence becoming fragile. This weakness you may feel in your legs is intimately connected to the confidence you have in the bones that support them. When the bones are strong, our movements are confident, our stride is sure. When they are weak, we hesitate. We begin to move as if the ground beneath us is made of glass. This hesitation itself is a form of weakness. The body and mind are in a constant feedback loop. A fearful mind creates a hesitant body, and a hesitant body reinforces the fearful mind. To break this cycle, we must address the integrity of the physical structure, we must tend to the bones. And the bones have a deep and ancient relationship with the sun. For all of our modern advancements, we remain fundamentally creatures of nature. We have an innate need to feel the sun on our skin. This is not a poetic idea, it is a biological necessity. There is a vital substance that our bodies are designed to create, but they cannot do so in darkness. They require the catalyst of sunlight. Science gives it a name, of course, but let us think of it as the body's ability to drink light. This substance is the master key that unlocks the gate for another crucial element, the very building block of bone, to be absorbed from your food and deposited into your skeletal framework. Without this key, you could consume all the bone-building materials in the world and they would pass through you, unused. Your body would lack the wisdom to take this material and weave it into the honeycomb lattice that gives your bones their incredible, lightweight strength. So when we speak of this second pillar, we are speaking of re-establishing a sacred connection. The connection between your skin and the sun. We have grown to fear the sun, to hide from it. We live in climate-controlled boxes, travel in metal shells, and often see the sun only through a pane of glass. This has broken a link that sustained our ancestors for millennia. The weakness in our legs, the fragility in our bones, is in many ways a direct consequence of this disconnection. To restore this link is a simple, profound practice. It does not require hours of baking in the midday heat. It requires just a few minutes of mindful, direct exposure. It is a ritual to step outside, to roll up your sleeves, and to feel the warmth of the sun on your forearms, on your face, to close your eyes and understand that in this moment, a miracle of alchemy is happening within you. Your body is turning light into substance. It is creating the very key that will allow you to fortify your foundation. This is not a passive act. It is an intentional communion with the source of all life on this planet. During these moments, consider that you are giving your body the tool it needs to rebuild itself from the inside out. You are giving your bones the chance to become denser, stronger, and more resilient. The confidence this builds is immeasurable. When you know, on a deep level, that your frame is strong, your movement changes, your stride lengthens, you trust your legs to hold you. The fear begins to recede, replaced by a quiet assurance. This is a strength that cannot be found in a gym. It is the strength that comes from being properly aligned with the natural world. It is the strength of a tree that has deep roots and an open embrace to the sky. This understanding is particularly vital as we age, as the body's efficiency in this light-drinking process can diminish. It requires a more conscious effort. If you live in a place where the sun hides for many months, then a high-quality supplement becomes a necessary tool, a sort of stored sunlight to carry you through the darkness. But the principle remains the same. You are seeking to provide your body with the key it has lost. When you combine this second pillar with the first, you create a beautiful synergy. The inner calm allows your muscles to relax and function properly around the bones. The sunlight's embrace ensures those bones are a strong and reliable anchor for the muscles. One provides flexibility, the other provides structure. This is the harmony of the body. True strength is never just about one thing. It is about the intelligent interplay of many systems. By tending to your bones through this ancient connection to the sun, you are doing more than just preventing fractures. You are making a powerful statement to your subconscious mind. You are saying, I am not fragile, I am not fading, I am rebuilding my temple, making its foundation strong and its structure sound. I am worthy of standing tall and walking this earth with confidence. And your body, which always listens, will respond in kind. Fluid harmony. We have addressed the stillness of the muscle and the structure of the bone. Now, we must turn to the medium in which all of life's processes take place. The flow, the communication. Within you is an inner ocean. Every one of your billions of cells is bathed in this fluid. It carries nutrients in and waste out. But most importantly, for our topic of cramps and strength, it is the medium through which messages are sent. Your nervous system is an electrical system. A thought in your brain to take a step becomes a tiny electrical impulse that travels down your nerves to the muscles in your leg. For this impulse to travel cleanly, instantly and correctly, the environment must be right. The fluid that surrounds these nerves and muscle cells must contain a precise balance of certain elements. These elements, these electrolytes, are what allow electricity to be conducted. Without them, the signal becomes garbled. It shorts out. And what is a cramp, if not a massive, uncontrolled electrical misfire? It is a burst of chaotic communication. The muscle is being told to contract violently and without purpose. It is a system in distress because the lines of communication have broken down. The weakness you feel is the opposite end of this problem. The signal from the brain to the muscle is faint, weak, and ineffective. It lacks the electrical force to generate a strong, coordinated contraction. The intent is there, but the message is lost in transit. The problem is not the muscle itself. The problem is the breakdown of the system of flow, of communication. The third pillar, therefore, is the restoration of fluid harmony. This is about ensuring your inner ocean is perfectly balanced so that these vital messages can be transmitted with clarity and strength. There is one mineral in particular that is the master conductor of this inner orchestra. It governs the flow of fluid in and out of every cell and plays a leading role in conducting the electrical signals of the nervous system. When this element is in short supply, which is common in our modern diet, the entire system of communication begins to falter. The fluid balance is disrupted, the electrical signals weaken. The result is felt first in the tissues that are most electrically active and have the highest demand, your muscles and your nerves. You experience this as a sudden, excruciating cramp or as a frustrating, persistent weakness in your limbs. You may also feel it as an irregular heartbeat or a general sense of fatigue, as these too are signs of a compromised internal communication network. Restoring this pillar is about consciously tending to your inner environment. It requires more than just drinking water. While water is the medium, it is empty by itself. True hydration, the kind that supports life and communication, involves replenishing the essential elements that are dissolved within that water. This is why our third pillar is so crucial. It provides the very substance that allows your mind's intentions to become your body's reality. How do we cultivate this fluid harmony? Again, nature has provided the answer in abundance. This master conductor is found in a vast array of fruits and vegetables. It is in the humble potato and the sweet potato. It is rich in avocados, in bananas, in tomatoes and beans. It is present in coconut water, a substance remarkably similar in composition to our own internal fluids. When you eat these foods, you are not just consuming calories or vitamins. You are consuming a principle of conductive flow. You are supplying your body with the raw materials it needs to repair its lines of communication. You are telling your cells, here is what you need to speak to one another clearly. When you combine this with an adequate intake of water, you are effectively rebuilding your internal communication highway. The signals from your brain will travel unimpeded, reaching the muscles with the right intensity and timing. The result is a movement that feels effortless, coordinated, strong. The chaotic misfires that cause cramps cease because the system is no longer in a state of static and confusion. It is in a state of harmony. Bringing these three pillars together completes the picture of true, sustainable strength. First, you cultivate inner calm, allowing the muscles to be in a receptive, relaxed state, ready for a command. Second, you build a solid structure with sunlight's embrace, ensuring the bones are a strong and stable anchor for those muscles to pull against. And third, you restore fluid harmony, ensuring the command from the mind is transmitted to the muscle with perfect clarity and power. You can see it is a trinity. One cannot function optimally without the others. Neglecting one will always compromise the whole. A tense muscle cannot move a weak bone effectively, no matter how clear the signal. A strong bone and relaxed muscle will fail if the signal is scrambled. A clear signal to a strong bone is useless if the muscle is already locked in tension. This is the holistic understanding we must seek. The cramp in your leg is not a local problem. It is a systemic message of deep imbalance. It is your body's kindest, though most painful invitation to look deeper, to look at your tension, your connection to nature, and the quality of your internal flow. This path to strengthening your legs, to reclaiming your stability, is therefore a path of deep self-care and profound awareness. It moves beyond the mechanical view of the body as a machine to be fixed and into the understanding of the body as a garden to be tended. You must ensure the soil is calm and receptive. You must ensure the structures have access to the light. And you must ensure the life-giving water is not just present, but balanced and conductive. By tending to this garden with wisdom and intention, the strength you seek will not be something you have to force. It will simply be the natural, beautiful outcome. It will blossom. Restoring the body is never a purely physical act. It is an act of restoring connection. By bringing these three pillars into your life, the principle of inner calm, the vitalizing force of sunlight's embrace, and the clarity of fluid harmony, you are not just healing your legs. You are healing the separation between your mind and your body, between your body and the natural world, and between your intention and your action. This is the ultimate strength, a body that moves with the quiet confidence of a being that is whole, integrated, and in deep and profound balance with the flow of life itself.